Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is another empties video. So I actually really like watching these videos because, you know, there are videos out there where it's sort of like first impressions, testing out makeup, skincare, whatever sort of products, and then they may really like them in that sort of first video, first impressions, but later on down the line they might not feel like it works for them. Maybe sort of it doesn't work with other particular products that they've got. You know, I've found that maybe in sort of a first impressions I really like a product and then I use it a couple more times and I think actually no, that I don't really like this product, so I don't continue to use it, or maybe if it's sort of skincare I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and sort of use it till it runs out and think, okay, you know, will I actually repurchase it? So I find these videos sort of more helpful for me when I'm looking to buy specific products, because I do want to see somebody's final thoughts. So I've got a little mix of skincare, makeup, and then sort of hair, body care, things like that. So I'm going to start off with the makeup. Okay, so first up is the iconic London Illuminator Drop. So this one's the pinky one called Shine. I do have the original one as well, but that is somewhere within my makeup kit that it's probably just in the makeup bag that I haven't used for a while, but I sort of dug this one out because there's a little bit left, but I'm not going to use it. I mean, the consistency when you look in the pot, it kind of looks like metallic nail polish. So years and years ago, when sort of Morphe and Iconic London were sort of at the height of the popularity for sort of Instagram makeup, I mean, I was buying so much from both brands, but Iconic London I was just crazy for. I mean, I bought the mascara, the illuminator drops, the brushes. I really wanted the body buffer glow. It sort of had the massive circle palette with the, I think it was like crisscross, where I had like the different sort of colours in it. And you could get the brush and just run it around your body, and I just remember all the influencers had it and I wanted it, but I got these instead. So this one in particular is very, very metallic. I'm just going to pop some on the back of my hand so you can see. So it's very sort of shimmery, very, very much of a sort of metallic glow. I mean, yeah, you can see very, very shimmery. So I would use this after I primed. I would just pop this all over my face and then put my foundation on top, because quite a few years ago I was using the most full coverage foundation that I could find because I hated the way my skin looked, and I thought that covering it up was better, because, you know, a few years ago it was very much the fashion to have the full coverage foundation. When I was using Huda Beauty Faux Filter, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, and this was sort of at the height of popularity, because I didn't think there was much in terms of this on the market. So so many people had this. I remember watching sort of Amy's Makeup Box and Desi and I Love Sarah sort of use this product. I mean, I don't think that it's a bad product. I mean, I liked what it did for my skin back then. It would give me sort of a glow that would come through in my sort of full coverage foundation. So I didn't look, well, I mean, I must have still looked very cakey at the time, but I was in love with this product. I haven't really reached for it in my recent years, just because there have been other products that have given me more of that sort of wet look glow, like glow from within to the skin, which is what I am more wanting to achieve, rather than a very heavy metallic glow. I mean, I used to use this on top of my foundation as well, and then I would go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit to have that full-on like Instagram highlight moment. So in terms of the actual product now, I wouldn't repurchase, just because I think it's a bit too harsh. I prefer the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light ones. I love my Vieve Skin Dew. So I wouldn't really want to repurchase this, because as I said, it's very sort of metallic-y. And I found with this product as well that I would have to sort of dab it on and then blend it out right away, because it was that sort of almost sort of blend between a cream product and a liquid from the way it sort of blended out almost. So you had to make sure that you were blending this out properly, that you weren't putting sort of too much on, or if you sort of dabbed it here, I found that you would have the imprint from the applicator. So I wouldn't directly dab it onto my skin from the applicator. I would sort of put it on the back of my hand, work it in with my finger, or use a sponge, because you'll see that sort of you'd have the imprint of the applicator and you'd try and blend it out, but you'd still see maybe a little line or the little sort of circle, and that was just something that I watched a live in the week and I saw somebody use a product quite similar to this, and you could see where she'd put it on with the applicator, and when she sort of turned her face you could just see the imprint of the applicator where the product wasn't blended out, and that's just, oh no, I need things to be blended and seamless, and this product just doesn't really achieve that, so I wouldn't really recommend it. Particularly in terms of highlighters, when I was transitioning from that sort of very Instagram metallic-y highlight, I discovered Glossier, and they were very sort of natural and glowy and things like that, so I picked up one of their sticks, like a dew effect highlighter stick, and this one was in Moonstone, so I'm just going to pop this on the back of my hand. Don't think you can quite see it here, just here. But this one was supposed to be sort of more like a glow from within type highlight, and I just found this to be so sticky. I found that it would disrupt the foundation I had on underneath, and you know when sort of, like I've got bangs, so I would find that my hair would catch and stick into it, and then you sort of brush it away and you'd have that sort of almost scratch mark where your hair strands had been. Oh my gosh, I mean, I tried to love this product, but I mean, I must have just bought it from when I saw somebody using it on Instagram, but I mean, you can see it a little bit there. It is more like a buzz, and it's very, very sticky. I don't think that it dries down. I mean, I haven't reached for this in quite a few years, but this is not the type of product that I would buy again. I don't really like the idea of a stick unless you sort of take it off with a brush or a sponge and dab it in. But I can see sort of a finger imprint where I was sort of rubbing it on my finger and tapping it in, but even that was disrupting my makeup. As I said, with the iconic London one, I do much prefer my Vieve Skin Dew. That is just foolproof for me. I love the colour, I love the finish, and I love the fact that I can use that product before and after powder and it doesn't disrupt my makeup like this one did. So I wouldn't recommend Glossier. I mean, they do have really, really nice products within their line. I love their, I think they're called Cloud Paints. I know my little sister really likes them as well. They are very bright and they are very natural and very buildable, and I do have quite a few in my collection, but I'm sort of obsessed with the Made by Mitchell ones and the sort of Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light ones as well, because they are sort of like a shimmery blush as well. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend this. Next I've got a little Dilly lip liner. So I wanted to include this because I love wearing quite a dark browny sort of lip liner, because I like to wear quite a nude lip and I don't necessarily like to have it match all the time. I mean, sometimes I'll wear Boldly Bare lip liner from MAC because I do really like how sort of nudie that one is, but more often than not I'll go in with a darker sort of browny lip liner to create that ombre effect, almost sort of trying to look like a Bratz doll out there. So this one's from MAC and this one is Cork. I might be able to just pop some down there. So it's just this one here. It's a really nice brown. I mean, so many people have heard of Cork. This is one of their most popular lip liners. I love MAC pencils. I think that they glide over the lips really nicely. They don't skip, they don't drag. They're really easy to sharpen as well, so you don't find sort of with some lip liners, I find that this part here, when you sharpen it, it can go very trying to think of the word and how to describe it. So it's almost like the crayon on the outside, it is still nice and smooth. I don't find that it goes really sharp, because sometimes when you're sort of drawing on where you've you know, you've got to sharpen it soon, you'll find that there might be a point and it stabs you. I don't find that with these. I think that they sharpen really nicely as well. I mean, I've gotten right down here and I've still got sort of a little bit here, but I did buy the Vieve Bark lip definer because I wanted to try out Jamie Genevieve's formula. But this is a product that I will always go back to and that I will always repurchase. I have so many MAC Cosmetics lip pencils in my collection, like Boldly Bare. I love that nude. I've got Cherry lip pencil, which is the red one. Love that for a red lip. I find that it doesn't bleed as well. It stops my liquid lipsticks and lipsticks from bleeding. So I love the formula of it. But yeah, I would 100% recommend MAC Cosmetics if you're looking for a really nice sort of nude lip pencil. So another MAC Cosmetics product. This is Myth. This is my most favourite nude lipstick in the world. It is beautiful. So this is a satin finish. I mean, it's very much used up, but you can just about see the nude here. I have repurchased this. I think I've repurchased this 5 times, and I am actually wearing Myth on my lips now with a little bit of the Vieve lip dew on top, and the Vieve Bark brown sort of lip definer. So this is a satin finish, so it's not matte and it's not sort of overly drying. I love the way it goes on. I love that it's such a nice light nude and it's so universal, so I can use it with this look here. I can use it with pinks, you can use it to lighten up other colours as well. Like I've in the past gone for quite a sort of dark brown and I've ombreed a bit of Myth in the middle. I've used maybe sort of a dark purple sort of lip liner, sort of with another shade in the middle, and maybe used sort of a kiss of sort of Myth in the middle. I just love this shade so much. I love the formula. MAC Cosmetics, just they know how to do lipsticks. So next is mascara. So I've got this one here from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Full Fat Lashes. So she does have a few different mascaras. I think she's got one called Pillow Talk, which I haven't tried, but she has got Legendary Lashes too, which I have tried. And out of the two, I do prefer the Full Fat Lashes. I think I just prefer the brush on it. I don't know if you can quite see it just here. You can see that the bristles start from quite short and then they get longer as they come to the sort of edge. There's lots of bristles here, and you can see that it's not just sort of one bristle. It's almost like if you think of a toothbrush where they've got loads of different bristles within one, it's like that. So I do really like the brush wand on there. I think that it picks up and lifts my lashes really nicely, and I do really like the formula. I do find that in Legendary Lashes too that it's a bit more of a wetter formula, so I find that it transfers to my under eyes quite quickly, whereas I don't have that problem with Full Fat Lashes. But I would 100% recommend this. I do really like the formula, the brush. I don't necessarily feel it on my eyes when it's there, and it's quite easy to take off. I mean, the easiest mascara that I've had to take off without fail is the F-Proof mascara, and I've noticed from using other mascaras that they take a little bit more work, but I really like this formula, really like the brush, and I've got so many in my collection from where I have had lots of Charlotte Tilbury orders where they've given me sort of minis and things like that. So I'll continue to use whatever I've got of them, but this is definitely mascara that I would repurchase in the future. Next I've got concealers. Because I've just mentioned a Charlotte Tilbury product, I'll go into my Charlotte Tilbury concealer. So this one is the Magic Away Concealer. It does remind me of that, is it the Maybelline Rewind? Where it's got the little head on it, like the spongy top. I don't like the applicator. I think that it's messy and I don't think that it's sanitary. I know that I've seen people rip off the top of it and then they just click it up. But I didn't really do that. I just sort of carried on with it. So in terms of the applicator, I would have to constantly clean it because I would find that the product would leak. And from where it's a liquid concealer that sort of, you know, it can crease and it can set, and it almost sort of the consistency sort of when a liquid concealer sort of sets, I find that that would sort of stick around in this little dome bit here. So when you would click it up and have more product, you'd dab on that product and you'd have remnants of the product before, which had already come out and dried. So I didn't really like that. The actual product itself, I really liked the formula. I didn't feel it on my eyes, and I found that it set really nicely, but it's just the applicator. I mean, I like this bit here. You can see that it's a twist up and you can sort of see when it's starting to run out, but this part here was a massive no for me. And it's sort of the same with her beauty ones as well. They can get quite messy, so you have to remember to turn them back so that the product doesn't come out. You couldn't really do that with this. You just sort of click up as much as you needed, and then you sort of stop and just click up when you needed more. But I still found that the product leaked, and yeah, this part was a no, and I don't know if you can sort of just see on the top. I'll just show you here. So that's the product. I got the lightest shade because I'm so pale, but I really liked the coverage of it. The actual product itself I loved, but the applicator I didn't, so for that reason I wouldn't repurchase. I don't know if she has another concealer. She must do. She probably just doesn't have just the one in her makeup line, because she's got about 5 different foundations now, hasn't she? But yeah, I mean, if she ever got rid of the actual applicator and made it sort of like, I don't know, even a doe foot, or just like a nozzle one that you just sort of squeeze out, change the applicator, I will buy it again because I do really like the product, but I would not repurchase with this little stick on the top. And my next concealer, this is quite an oldie. I mean, I used to wear this quite a few years ago. This is the Revolution. And this is the Conceal and Define. So this is the supersize one, because I know that they originally came out and they were quite small, and then they brought out, because they were constantly sold out of the product, I think that they must have just sort of supersized it, and then they launched the foundation, I think. I haven't actually tried the foundation, but tried the concealer. A lot of people compared it to Shape Tape. I haven't actually tried Shape Tape. I've got a few Tarte products, like I've got their Tartelette in Bloom palette, and god, what else have I got? I'm sure I've got something else of theirs, but Tarte aren't really a brand that sort of stands out to me. I don't really want to buy any of their products. So when this hit the market and this was the dupe for Shape Tape, I really wanted to try it because so many influencers used Shape Tape and it just looked flawless. So this, I think, was about £3 or £4. So good. It must still be in stores, but it's not a concealer that I've really reached for in a few years, really, because I've just been using different things, like the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Concealer, and I've got an Estee Lauder, one that I love to use, and I've been using up my Benefit Brightening Concealer, because I really like that as well. But to be fair, something quite cheap and cheerful, I would repurchase this again because I really like the way that it went on, the way it set, and I'm pretty sure the colours they had they had a really nice shade range as well. And to be fair, I am allowed to take my mask off at work now, so I still have to wear my mask in the building when I'm walking around and sort of coming in and out, but when I'm sat at my desk I don't have to wear a mask. It is sort of your own choice. I think I've just got used to not wearing makeup because I've had to wear the mask for so long, but now I can wear makeup to work. So this may just be a concealer that I purchase for like a work concealer because I know that it does set really nicely and it lasts all day. So I probably will be buying this again really soon. So it's probably my favourite sort of drugstore concealer. I think that there was one that I used to use years ago called Lasting Collection 2000, I think. That was quite a nice one, but this one I would definitely repurchase. The next one's foundation, and this is the Fenty Pro Filter foundation. So this was really popular quite a few years ago. I remember that this first launched when I was actually doing my makeup kit, so it's quite a nice memory for me. Because I remember one of the girls I was on the course with, I wasn't quite sure on my shade, and she brought me in a couple of little samples, and it was actually the shade 120 that worked best for me. So this is the shade 120. I don't think it's the lightest in the collection. I mean, I don't really shop Fenty. I've only got a few things from the brand. In terms of the foundation, it wasn't my favourite. I mean, I've used the last of it on my face today, and I found that it just sort of reminds me of sort of like a paint consistency. So I'd pop it on my skin and I'd find that I'd have to work it really quickly because it would almost sort of set where it was, and almost I'd try and blend it and it wasn't blending, and I mean I had to work very hard with it today. In terms of the coverage, I think that it's nice. I don't think that it's a buildable coverage, so I wouldn't be able to go on top with sort of another layer because I'd find that it would just mess up. I do think that it sets quite nicely. I mean, I managed to blend it out and set it okay. In terms of the product being long lasting, I do remember that it sort of sat within my lines here. I mean, I can be very oily, and if I don't sort of set my T-zone, then I find that it just looks a bit like a slip and slide. But I didn't find it with this product. I didn't find that my skin went really oily. I just found that the more I wore it, sort of the longer in the day, the more dry I looked, and not about that. So I wouldn't repurchase this foundation. There are other foundations that I have that I absolutely love, and there are some foundations that I've seen quite recently that I do want to try. Like, it's my birthday next weekend, and I've asked my sister for the new Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin foundation because it just looks wonderful. I do really like the airbrush foundation, and I remember really liking the Magic foundation as well, but of course it wasn't quite enough coverage for me, which is why I preferred the airbrush. So I do really want to try the Beautiful Skin because it does really look like the Estee Lauder Hydra Futurist foundation that I do have, because that is one of my favourite foundations as well. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend this foundation. I know that she's launched others since, so you know, they might be much better formulas because this of course was her original foundation formula. Next I'm going to go into skincare. So I'm going to start with cleanser. So this is the Cerave Cleanser. I've used it entirely. It lasted me so long as well. I mean, there's 236 millilitres in here. I got this on offer at Boots purely because, I mean, my skin, it's up and down, it's quite problematic. I can break out at the drop of a hat, and then miraculously within, I don't know, a couple of days, my skin will clear up and then the cycle will start. And I saw on TikTok, I follow somebody called Skin by Liz, I think her name is, and she raves about Cerave. So I really wanted to try it. I mean, my little sister uses it and she had quite acne prone skin a few years ago and she really likes it. So I wanted to try it out, and I've got the cream to foam cleanser, and I find that this type of cleanser works really well on my skin. I do prefer creamy foamy cleansers compared to sort of gels and things like that, because I just think that my skin needs the hydration. So I really liked the way that this went on, that it lathered up, it felt really clean on the skin. I would use this morning and night. I really like it, and it's a product that I will repurchase to use within my skincare routine. I mean, I am using the Jeffree Star cleanser at the moment, but this is one that I will sort of always have within my makeup collection for where I feel like my skin might be purging, or I need something that's going to calm it down really quickly. This is great. It's sort of like when you strip your skin back to the absolute basics. I don't think that this particular product is going to make your skin worse. It's not going to irritate your skin. It's going to soothe your skin and really calm it down. So it is a product that I will have in my bathroom, just sort of sitting there for whenever I need it. Just going to mention this little guy again because I've used up another one. This is the Clinique Moisture Surge Lip Balm. I absolutely love this one. I have got another one on the go as well. It's wonderful. I've got one in Jake's car, I've got one in my dressing gown, I've got one on my desk, I've got one at work, in my handbag, in the bathroom, you name it, I've got one everywhere. I love it. It's my favourite lip balm, and if you are on the market for a new lip balm, I would 100% recommend this one. It's done so much for my lips because I get lip filler, so I have to make sure that my lips are nice and hydrated, and that I'm drinking lots of water. And this one's just great. So I have another lip product, and this one's from Estee Lauder. So this, I believe, is one of their most, well, in the recent years, because they've got quite a few different lip balms and things like that. But this is the Pure Colour Envy Nighttime Rescue Lip Oil Serum. I was really excited when this launched. I was actually working at Debenhams, so I was across from the counter of Estee Lauder, just looking at it and wanting it, and then I did, you know, finally cave and buy it. I think I bought it in a set, so it came with something else as well. So I loved this product when I started using it. It was so nice to just use at night and have the product just sort of sink in, and my lips would feel really nice in the morning. And it's just a product that you can sit there and just reapply because you love the way that it feels and that it goes on. I mean, I love a lip oil. The only thing I will say with this product is that it leaks. So for that reason I wouldn't repurchase it, because the oil would just come out the top, it would squeeze down the sides, and it was just a waste of product. I mean, Estee Lauder, it's not the cheapest brand on the market, so I felt like it was wasting the product. Love the product itself, do not like the applicator, so I wouldn't repurchase this just because of how much product was wasted when I was using it. Keeping with Estee Lauder, I've got an eye cream here. So this is the Advanced Night Repair Eye Concentrate Matrix. So this is the eye cream that I am currently using at the moment, because I bought two before I left Debenhams, because the girl that worked on the counter, she said that this was her favourite eye cream from their sort of collection. So of course I listened to her and I bought two, because I thought I'd need a backup. So the product itself, love it. It's a really nice lightweight cream. So it's sort of just here. It's something that I love to use with the Night Repair serum. So it's really lovely. It just sort of melts into the skin. It smells really fresh. you know, it's one of those skincare products that you put on and you're just like, ugh, because you just love the way it feels. In terms of the applicator, I hate it. So it's this sort of plasticky, clear sort of wand that doesn't actually reach to the bottom. It did also have a little stopper in here that, you know, sort of with concealer you have that bit that sort of so you don't take out too much product. It had one of those, and where I thought I'd used the product up, thankfully with the packaging you've sort of got the dark and then the light, and you can just about see the product here. So I could see I had quite a lot just sat at the bottom. So I got a pair of tweezers, I took out the top, and there was lots more in here. But I couldn't actually reach it with this because it doesn't reach the bottom. So I had to use whatever I could, like an eyelash spoolie, things like that, and sort of decant the product out myself. So in terms of that, I just don't understand the packaging. It's so hard to get out. I don't know why this can't be in a pot like the others. I think they just wanted to be really bougie with this. I don't know if this is supposed to add like a cooling effect to the eye. Not sure. But I do have another one on the go, and I absolutely love what it does for my under eyes. They just feel so hydrated and sort of ready for concealer and things like that. So it is actually my favourite eye cream out of the Estee Lauder range. I have tried the day wear. I've tried the, I think it's the night repair little pot. I've tried that one. This one does more for me. If I was to repurchase an Estee Lauder eye cream, it would of course be this one out of the others. But there are other eye creams that I do really want to try, like the Jeffree Star eye cream and things like that. So I would think I would eventually repurchase this, but I mean, as I said, I did buy two and I did really like it, so I have got another one on my desk that I am currently using. Next we've got another Charlotte Tilbury product. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Serum Crystal Elixir. This I believe retails for about £60, so it's very expensive. As soon as I saw it, I just thought, yeah, I'm going to buy it, because love the Magic cream, love the Magic Eye Rescue. Her skincare products are perfection. She really knows how to create, well, not only skincare but makeup as well. I mean, Charlotte Tilbury is one of my top brands. So, you know, I saw this, I saw sort of Sophia and Charlotte and people like that use it on themselves, and of course the models. And it looked really beautiful, and it looked like a product that would just sit in really nicely, because at the time I was using the Magic cream, the Magic Eye Rescue, and I just thought, yeah, a Charlotte Tilbury base, beautiful. This product, it underwhelmed me. I was expecting much more from it. I mean, there are other products that I have used in terms of sort of priming and within my skincare routine before I put on makeup that I just prefer, like the Kiehls oil, and just sort of like a hyaluronic acid as well. So this really did underwhelm me, and I thought that it was very overpriced for the actual product. I mean, I didn't really see a difference in my routine from using it and sort of not using it. So I thought that it was a bit of a waste of money, really. So I stopped using it for a little while, and then I came back to it because I thought, well, you know, it's there, I might as well use it up, see if maybe I prefer it with sort of different products and things like that. Maybe it was just my skin at the time, so I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt. Went back to it, and the product sort of went off. It smells really bad, and it's sort of, I don't know if you can see, but there's sort of grains of whatever separated from the product here, so it hasn't got a very long shelf life. I wouldn't recommend the product because I didn't really see what it actually did for my skin. I much prefer her Magic Eye Rescue, the Magic Cream and the Wonder Glow. I think that those are fantastic products, but I just don't understand what this is supposed to do. It had so many claims and it didn't really give me any of them. So I wouldn't buy this again, and it's not a product that I would recommend. But I love Charlotte Tilbury. Next I have another sort of little, well, facial product really. So this is from the Body Shop, and this is the Tea Tree Anti-Imperfection Daily Solution. So I picked this product up. I can't remember if I must have seen a video or just been looking in the store, because I used to use the vitamin E, I think it was the serum as my sort of night serum years ago. So I was introducing more and more tea tree in because I really like their chamomile makeup remover, but it's not a very big product, that you don't get a lot in there. So yeah, I wanted to give this a go. I mean, I've used it completely, and I think that at the time I got my friend to buy it as well because I really liked it. I will say it's tea tree, so I mean, I would pick my skin, I would then sort of wash my skin, and I would use this on top of where I had picked my skin and it was all open, and it would sting. I do think that it did help the blemishes that I did have, but I just think that it is quite a harsh product. I mean, I've got sort of acids and things like that, like salicylic, lactic acid, and I use AHAs and BHAs and things that, and vitamin C that are, you know, they're controlled, they're better for my skin than using sort of tea tree, because I don't know if this was stripping my skin, if it was doing something to the actual barrier of my skin. So I wouldn't actually recommend this ingredient or this product. It's not sort of an ingredient that I would use within my skincare routine. I do think that tea tree is very, very harsh. I mean, it was for my skin anyway. It made it sort of slightly burn, itch, and it just made my skin feel really dry. Whereas, as I said, I've got other products now that I have introduced within my skincare routine that are really helping my blemishes. So I wouldn't recommend the product, and I wouldn't repurchase. Okay, so next is, oh god, I can never say it, niacinamide. So this is a product that is quite new to my skincare routine. So towards the end of last year, I introduced this. I introduced vitamin C, retinol, and things like that into my skincare routine, because I wanted to see a difference within my texture, and sort of this is supposed to help with excess oil and things like that. So this is good for quite blemished skin. This one's from the Inky list. I think it was about £7. So in terms of the product, I do think that it's helped massively with my oil. So I am combination. I mean, I can be more oily, I can be more dry. It depends on the day. It depends on the skincare products that I've used. It depends on the weather, all sorts of things like that. But I've found that it sort of tipped the scales with this, and I'm less oily. And I mean, that's the product working for me, really. So I go in with my, obviously my cleanser, toner, then I would put my hyaluronic acid on, and then I put a pump of this, my serum and my vitamin C, and sort of do a little bit of a mixology on the back of my hand and dab into my skin, and then I'll go in with sort of my creams and things like that. So I do really like this product. I haven't actually repurchased this one, but I have repurchased a Revolution one that sort of had the same sort of percentage of ingredients in, because it was about £3, £3 or £4 cheaper in Boots. So it is an ingredient that I'm keeping within my skincare routine, but not necessarily the Inky List brand. If you are very sort of oily and sort of blemish prone, I would recommend niacinamide because I think it's a very, very good ingredient. I know that loads of people recommend it, like estheticians, I think that's the word. They love this ingredient. So it's definitely something that I look out for within my skincare routine, within my skincare products for my routine. And I do think that it has helped with my excess oil and sort of my blemishes and things like that. So it is an ingredient that I will continue within my skincare routine, and I would recommend the Inky List because they're very inexpensive. I've got so many products within the Inky List on my shelf now. I do think they're a really nice brand, and I wouldn't have considered them if they weren't actually in Boots. So next I have a scrub. So I do believe in my last empty video I spoke about Zoe Belle Beauty. I think it was the green cream that I reviewed and I didn't really like it and I wouldn't repurchase. So this is the Coffee and Clay scrub. So, I mean, within her Instagram and things like that, when I saw the reviews of people's skin before and after and they were using this scrub and a cream, because she's got like a gold cream and a lavender cream and things like that, I wanted to try it out. I mean, this little pot was quite expensive because obviously she's very natural and it's her own sort of brand that she doesn't put on any retailers. But I wanted to try it out, and it's basically just sugar in a pot. You can smell coffee and things like that. You can sort of see other ingredients, but the base of it is sugar. It's basically like a lip scrub. I thought that it was very harsh on my skin. I mean, at the time I just thought, yes, it's really going to work in and get sort of my blackheads and clean things out. But then I thought, what is it actually doing to the skin barrier? Am I just creating little micro tears within my skin, which I don't want? So it's not really a product that worked for me in terms of my texture, my blemishes, blackheads, anything like that. It's not a product that I would recommend because it's just so harsh and it's basically sugar. So no, I wouldn't repurchase and I wouldn't recommend. I didn't really know where this fell. I was going to sort of put it right at the end of my makeup empties, but then I sort of moved straight onto skincare. So this is the NYX Cosmetics Just Makeup Brush Cleaner. You know, I really liked it. I think that it's nice. It's not the best product that I've used, but it's very cheap and cheerful. Because obviously makeup artists go through so many, and I mean I do lots of different sort of makeup looks and things like that sometimes sort of in the same day, where I've got maybe one day to film, that I'll just need to sort of spray all my brushes so I can use like a different colour in my next look. So I think that sort of for that purpose it's really good, cheap, cheerful, does the job. But in terms of sort of makeup brush cleaners that I really like, for like that weekly heavy duty clean to get sort of everything out of them, I really like the Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. You can get that in the block or you can get it as sort of the liquid soap. I prefer the block because I just sort of wet my brush slightly and just work straight onto the bar of soap, and then use the little sieve trick and rinse through until it's clean. But in terms of sort of like a quick in-between brush cleaner, my favourite is the MAC. I've used this so many times. I feel like where I was maybe using this one, I would have, say, the one shade, clean it, go on to the next shade. I could use this MAC brush cleaner and it would take off that first shade, yet still remnants of the shade before where I'd used this one. So this is a much better brush cleaner. It's obviously a bit more in terms of the price, but to be fair, it's quite in line. I mean, I think ISO Clean and things like that are much more expensive than the MAC one. And I mean, I've heard that ISO Clean can break down the actual glue that holds your brushes together. So ISO Clean isn't really a brand that I'm going to be buying. I mean, MAC has never been a problem for me. I found that it cleans my brushes really well. It doesn't sort of do anything in terms of sort of breaking down the glue and things like that. So I do prefer the MAC one. Lastly, I've got sort of a bit of hair and body. So I'm going to go into my hair masks. I've got two. So this one's the Olaplex number 8. I believe they've recently come out with a number 9, which is a serum. But I went to my hairdresser's on Saturday and she didn't really recommend it. She didn't think that it was like amazing and things and life-changing and things like that, so I probably won't buy number 9. But to be fair, I won't buy number 8 again either. So I don't think that there's a lot of product in here. It's one of those products that you pump and then you can see that this bit sort of pushes up the product. My hair can be quite thick and frizzy, especially sort of when I've washed it, styled it, and after a couple of days I'll sort of pop it up in maybe a ponytail or a bun and things like that, and then you just know that it's really frizzy. because my family have quite thick curly hair. I just feel like I need to use so much of this product, like a couple of pumps just isn't going to do it. I need to do so many pumps and really smooth it on my hair, and I just felt like I'd used like half of it to do one lot. In terms of what it did for my hair, I mean, my previous hairdresser, she came round, she sort of bleached my hair and things like that, went away, and for some reason it just went really dry and really straw-like. She came back the next day and put this mask all over it, like she used loads on it, and it just went so smooth and so sleek. But I just feel like you need to use so much of the product to get that, whereas Olaplex is very expensive and I don't want to be using half of this on one application, so it's not something that I would repurchase again just because of that purpose. I mean, I would love them to put it in a pot and have it a bit thicker, so then I can choose how much I want to take out and put over, but I do much prefer using the 0 to sort of pop in my sort of roots to ends and work through, and then use the number 3. I thought that that helped me much more than this one, so it's not a product that I would recommend or repurchase. But this mask, however, I would. So this is the Garnier Ultimate Blends Nourishing Hair Masks. You can get all sorts of different types and they just smell glorious. So this one is the banana one, which is supposed to help for dry hair. I've recently repurchased the papaya one, which is supposed to be good for damaged hair, purely because the banana one was sold out. I mean, it's so popular because it smells amazing. It really reminds me of the Body Shop banana hair mask, which I do recommend. That one's beautiful. But, you know, this is such a big pot, and I think when it's on offer it can be like £3. And it smells so nice. And I mean, I'll either wet my hair slightly or use the number 0 and number 3, and then just get a big scoop of this and just pop it all over my hair, slick it up into a bun and just sit there for either a couple of hours or overnight, and then I'll use sort of my Olaplex double shampoo to sort of wash it off, and my hair just feels so smooth, so soft. So out of the two, I'd recommend this one 100%. I think that it's lovely. You can use it 3 different ways, but I just use it as a hair mask. So you can use it as a conditioner, as a mask, or you can put it on wet hair to leave in, but I don't use a small amount of that. But I use it as a mask and I absolutely love it. So next couple of products, I've only got 2 left, I promise. So this, you might remember this from being in my what I got for Christmas video. This was in a set from my dad. I got the exfoliator, and then I got the cream wash as well. So this is really, really nice. It's really clean. I really like the Dove and the Nivea washes. The cream washes, I don't know if they do gels, but I mean, my skin is so sensitive that I cannot have cheap shower gels on my skin. My skin flares up, and I get little sort of red bumps and rashes and things. But a cream like this is really nice and soft for my skin. So this one is like the cream, and it's got the little beads in it. So I've been using this one as my morning shower wash for when I've sort of worked out and I'm having a shower before going to work and things. And I really, really like what it's done for my skin. I just think that my skin feels really hydrated, because it's just so creamy and hydrating and things like that. So, I mean, Dove is a very inexpensive brand, so if I see it again I will buy it, because, I mean, I do really like the Lush Cosmetics coffee scrub for when I have sort of, you know, like strawberry legs, for when you're gonna shave your legs and things. I do really like to use like a really sort of scrubby scrub for that, but day to day that's just too harsh. So something like this is really nice for my skin sort of day to day, and it is something that I would repurchase. So my last product is hand cream. So this is by Garnier. I mean, I feel like so many people have bought and used this product. Like I see it everywhere. And it's so inexpensive. So in terms of the actual product, it was really nice. I mean, in terms of the formula, I do prefer my Body Shop hand creams. I just love them. I love what they do for my hands. But this one I wasn't mainly I wasn't impressed with, and the actual product as well sort of split. So the product, when I was squeezing it, it was coming out of this bit here. So I think the packaging is quite cheap for it. Obviously it's a cheap product. But I mean, when I used to work in care, I worked with a Russian lady, and you know, you'd notice somebody's sort of like skin, their eyes, their hair, whatever, but she would compliment me on my hands, and she'd look at my hands and she'd say, oh, that, you know, they're so lovely, they're so delicate, they look so soft and feminine, you really take care of them. And you know, I mean, gosh, working in care during the pandemic, you were constantly washing your hands, hand gelling and things like that. So I was using the Huda Beauty Wishful Yo Glow to sort of scrub my hands gently, and then I would use my Body Shop hand cream, and that just kept my hands really smooth, really soft, because a lot of the girls, you know, they'd get little bumps and things like that, and their hands would just be really cracked and really sore. This product I wouldn't repurchase. I didn't think that it worked as well for me as the Body Shop. I mean, I've got a honey and almond one on my desk currently, and I've got a strawberry one at work that I use in the day, and my hands, they feel so soft. They aren't cracked, they aren't dry, so I would recommend the Body Shop hand cream. I wouldn't recommend this one, I wouldn't repurchase. And the fact that the product cracked when I was using it as well, so when I was squeezing it, product would come up the side, and I know you can sort of do the trick where you cut it in half and just sort of scoop the product out yourself. But no, I wouldn't recommend this one. Right guys, that was the end of my video. So that's my empties for sort of March, April time. I do still have a day off tomorrow because it's bank holiday Monday, so I'm hoping to film some more videos tomorrow, so I've got sort of more variety up on my channel. But I had these empty products, and I do really like to watch these videos myself, so I wanted to film another one. I think I've already filmed 2 already for my channel, so that'll be sort of quite a regular video that I'll do. But have you guys got any of the products that I've mentioned here? Maybe do you love them where I've hated them? Let me know in the comments below. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.